How do we need to add 5 to both sides? Right, we need to get 0 on one side, everything else on the other. So I'm going to have x over 3x minus 5, and I'm going to add 5. Next we need to find a common denominator. What's our common denominator going to be? Okay, so when I use my common denominator, what do I end up with? Good. So plus 5 parentheses 3x minus 5 over 3x minus 5, and that's going to be less than or equal to 0. Combine your numerators and then simplify your numerator. So it looks like you end up with what? 16x minus 25 over 3x minus 5. Okay, next thing we need to do is find our zeros. How do I find my zeros? Good. Set 16x minus 25 equal to 0 and solve. So my zeros, which are also my x-intercepts, is going to be what? Good. 25 over 16 and then 0. Okay, what else do I need to look for? Vertical asymptote. Where's my vertical asymptote going to be? Well, where 3x minus 5 is equal to 0, x equal to 5/3. Okay, then I'm going to do a sign diagram, and I'm going to have 16x minus 25 as a expression and 3x minus 5 as an expression. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in here. So we have 16x minus 25, and I'm going to have 3x minus 5. I'm going to draw my number line. Now the tricky question is, so I'm going to put 0 over here because I know that my vertical asymptote and my x-intercepts are both positive. Okay, so I'm going to do 25/16, and that's a 0. Do a little squiggly. And then 5/3, which is really actually very close to it, and that's going to be a dashed. Okay, so I said, I don't have my calculator in front of me. I have to pick a number between 25/16 and 5/3. I found a common denominator, 48. Multiply 16 by 3, I need to multiply 25 by 3. So here's my equivalent fraction. 3 times 16, 5 times 16. Again, equivalent fraction. So a number between 75 and 80 would be, we'll pick 77. So I'm going to put in 77, 48 minus 25. Well, I found a common denominator, and I know that 16 goes into 48 3 times. So my question to you is, 77 divided by 3, I don't even want to know what that number is. Is it bigger or smaller than 25? 3 times 25 is 75. Okay, so 77, if I divide it by 3, should be bigger, which means that bigger minus 25 means I'm going to have a. And then doing this again, we have 3 times 77 48 minus 5, 16. I'll tell you what, 16 times 5 is this bigger or smaller than -5? So overall, it's going to be negative. Okay, so what am I looking for? I'm looking for where am I going to be less than or equal to 0? Between 25/16, if you said including, and 5/3, not included because it's a vertical asymptote.